Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Willow Creek Homestead. My name is Kenzie if you are new here. And in today's video, we have some fun things planned, okay? Now, let's just pretend like the background isn't the background. I had my new furniture set delivered, so I know that this looks a little wonky back here. I have 2 couches and all kinds of things going on, but I got my new bar stools the other day, and so I was like, I want to be able to sit on this side while we make all of this fun stuff together. So we are going to be making some holiday gifts in a jar together and getting them decorated up. We are also going to be decorating the homemade jams and jellies that we made in last week's video. And then I have some other things that we are going to gather up and get ready for the holidays. So we did this together last year. You guys really enjoyed it. So this year I have 2 recipes that we are going to be making. So we have a peanut butter brownie mix and Christmas cookies in a jar. And I did go ahead and pull everything out that we needed. I went ahead and wrote all of my recipe stuff down, and I will leave everything down below for you. So I think we're gonna go ahead and get started with the peanut butter brownie mix in a jar. So let me go over here and grab this. Sorry, this is the only place that it worked to pull all of this stuff out. So I know it's in a little bit of a disarray here. But basically what you need to make the cookies and brownie mix in a jar is a wide mouth quart mason jar. And I don't recommend using the regular mouths because it's way too hard to get your stuff in there. So I did go ahead and pull out several quart jars. I think I am going to try to make 3 of each so that I can give 2 of them to our family members. Like we have 3 households that we exchange with, and I think 1 of each for each of them will be perfect. So I went ahead and pulled 6 out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get 3 set out here, and then let's get started. So for the peanut butter brownie mix, we need 1 cup of brown sugar. Let me grab that. And that is kind of what I recommend you do, is just pull everything out, because you're gonna have to be dipping into these containers a million times, you know, like why not just get everything out all at once? So let me find my 1 cup here. And I had it written down because the recipe that I found online said to layer in this specific order for the peanut butter brownie mix. But for the Christmas jar, or for the Christmas cookies in a jar, you can layer them however you would like to. But for this one specifically, this is the order that we're gonna go in. So we need 1 cup of brown sugar, and let me get, you will also probably need a funnel because this gets quite messy. So here is 1 cup. I actually didn't know if I was going to make these again this year, you guys, but my family enjoyed them so much last year that I was like, I am definitely going to redo that. And it's just a fun, personable gift, you know? Like these look so cute in the jars whenever you get them done. And a lot of us that like to bake and cook and things, we already have all of these ingredients. So it's like, why not? And then you can also inspire people that don't cook and bake very often to get in the kitchen and make something from scratch, which I think is really awesome. This is for making like sauerkraut, like to push it down for fermentation, you know, but like the end of this is absolutely perfect. So if you have a fermentation crock that has one of these, I can't remember what they're called, but I saw this and I was like, hey, that would be perfect to mash this down. So then all I am doing is just taking this and making it level in the jar like so. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can just push it down so that we get some very pretty defining lines. That works perfect, you guys. I love whenever I think of something and it turns out to be a really good idea. Okay, so that's the last one. Perfect. And then the next thing that we need is 1/2 cup of sugar. And where's my measures? Right here. 1/3 cup. You know what? My 1/2 cup is not in here, but that's okay. We will just do 1/2 of a 1 cup. I think I've talked to you guys before about how I used to live in Biloxi, Mississippi. If you didn't hear that, my mom and my dad moved me down there whenever I was about 4 years old. We lived down there for quite a little while before moving back to Iowa. And one of my favorite things to do whenever I was living down south was go to like the souvenir shops and things, because they had the little, you know, like plastic containers with the sand and stuff in them. And then they also had places where you could make them yourself and layer them in. I used to collect those all the time. And every single time that I make these in a jar, that's exactly what it reminds me of. I don't know why my family decided to move me back up here. I'm really not a Four Seasons person. I do not like the cold. As a matter of fact, I contest it every single year. So call it a grudge or whatever you want, but I just don't understand why Iowa. Like, I love it here. If the cold wasn't a thing, I would love it even more. Okay, and then the next ingredient is some cocoa. So we need 1/3 cup of cocoa. And I bought this and didn't realize that I had cocoa already. So I think me and Sissy are gonna make like some hot chocolate or something later to get that other one used up, because I don't have enough of it in the container that I have up there. It's a little bit hard to get this even. And be careful, because this is very, very messy, you guys. And then again, just take this and kind of layer it in. How pretty. I love how these turn out, you guys. So beautiful. Okay, and then for the next one, we need 1 cup of peanut butter chips. And I did go ahead and pick those up because I do not usually keep peanut butter chips on hand. So these are what these look like, peanut butter chocolate chips. Okay, and then we need 1 cup for each jar. And then the next thing is a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Easy enough. Stick that right on top. And then we need a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips per each jar. And I just went ahead and did semi-sweet, but you could do whatever kind you wanted. Okay, and then the last thing is just some chopped walnuts. So, just gonna put this on here. It says a 1/2 cup. You know what? I might need to, let me go chop some more because that is perfect for this one. Oh, but you can see what the final look of it is on this one. Look at how beautiful, you guys. Wow, I've never had peanut butter brownies, but we may have to make these in a future video and try them because they sound absolutely delicious. But let me go chop some more walnuts really quickly. Okay, so I got all of the walnuts chopped on top, and there is the final look of all of them. I just love this. Like, how fun is that, you guys? So fun. And so there's 2 different ways that we can decorate these with the fabric. I'll show you each way. Last year I did one way, and then I saw another person do it a different way. So we will decorate these at the very, very end along with those jams. But for the next one, we are going to move on to Christmas cookies in a jar, and I've never made these before. So these ought to be fun. And for this one, it calls for 1.5 cups of flour. So let me get that over here. Oh my goodness. That was a stretch. And I think I have yes, I do, 1.5 cup measure. I just had to go ahead and rinse out the funnel because it still had some cocoa powder in it. If you're using like all the same ingredients anyway, you don't really have to rinse anything out, but I definitely don't want the cocoa powder in this. So, like I said, we need 1.5 cups of flour per jar. And be careful when you do this because if you pack in the flour, it can overflow outside of your funnel. Ask me how I know. Last year, it was a mess. Okay, so there's 1. I've seen people get really, really, really creative with like the recipes and stuff in a jar. There were a couple of other ones that I really wanted to try this year too, but sometimes my family likes to experiment with things and other times they don't. So I just chose to go with some things that I knew for sure they would like. But I've seen people do soups in a jar, breads in a jar, you know, all kinds of things. Just really, really, really cool stuff. Personal care too. I did a body scrub last year and my family really, really liked those as well. So there's a lot of different ideas. Maybe I'll pin some down below for you on like the Pinterest threads that I've seen if you guys want to do some different things. And then I'm just gonna put the dirty ones right back on that piece of paper so that I don't make a humongous mess. Okay, flour is done. We're just gonna take this and move it around. And then we need half a teaspoon of cornstarch and half a teaspoon of baking soda. So here is our cornstarch, half a teaspoon. Done. And baking soda. Oh wait, baking powder. That's why you gotta read. Good thing I caught that. And then we also need a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and then half a cup of brown sugar. And we're just gonna do half of my 1 cup because my half cup is dirty. And we need regular sugar anyway, so it doesn't matter if we mix it in. So there's that. I'm gonna do just a little bit more in that one. Okay, and then we also need half a cup of regular sugar. You know what, guys? I forgot to push that down. Oh no. That's okay. One of them is going to be a little bit wonky, but that's why if you pack these in, it looks better, because you see what I just did now? The line is messed up, but it's okay. If you want it to be like perfect though, make sure you pack it down before you do what I just did. And then we need half a cup of mini chocolate chips and half a cup of M&Ms. So now I accidentally bought peanut butter M&Ms. I did not mean to do that, and I don't have any other M&Ms to substitute it, so we're just rolling with it, you guys. It's not gonna be like the exact recipe, but that's okay. Okay, and then this is 1.5 cups, so we'll just divide this 3 ways. You know what? I didn't have that clear to the top. So, at least with the chocolate chip and M&M ratios, you can't really mess that up. With the baking ingredients, you want to be specific, but with these, if you get it a little bit more or a little bit less, it's not the end of the world. And then our M&Ms just go right on top. You guys, how stinking adorable. Now this one looks wonky, but this one looks really pretty. Look at that. That is beautiful. I love that so much. Okay, so then all I am going to do is get our lids and rings on, and yep, here's one. Now this is like a perfect application to put your reused lids on. Like you can see there's still a little bit of writing on there, but nobody's gonna be paying attention to that because we will label these. So if you have some reused lids and don't wanna use brand new, perfect application for it. Awesome, I'm so happy with those, you guys. Freaking perfect. Okay, I'm gonna take just a minute, get all of this stuff put away except for the decoration stuff that we need, and then let's get started on that. Okay, that's a little bit better, having everything picked up and out of my way. So, like I said, there are 2 ways that we're gonna do this. Now, what I did is I just went to Walmart and bought some Christmas-inspired fabrics. I think each of them was about $4.98 for a packet. You can find them in the fabric section. And then I just went ahead and picked up a bunch of different ribbons so that we can tie a bow on them. And I did go ahead and cut sizes last night. I went ahead and measured these, and I believe I got 6. So we can do this 2 ways. You can take your fabric, measure it out, and you can place it on top of the mason jar like so. And then we will basically put a bow around it so that it kind of holds it like this and covers the entire top. The other way that you can do this, and this is the way that I did it last year, is you can take your fabric like this, hold it really, really tight, and then you can just slip on your band like this. And then you kind of just pull it, you know, around and configure it to where you want it. I did it this way last year, but I think this year I want to try doing it with the ribbon around the whole top of it, just because I think covering the silver and the lid and everything looks a little bit better. So let's try that. The only thing is like trying to get the ribbon around this and holding it at the same time, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But we will try it and see how it goes. If we can't get it figured out or make it look right, then we will just do it the other way. And I think I am going to go ahead and use a little bit of this thicker ribbon. Now, how in the world, guys, do you, oh, you got to be smarter than the packaging, that's how. Okay. And I'm not the best at tying a bow. I try, it's not easy. Okay, so maybe like, and you do need quite a little bit extra if you're going to try and tie a bow, just so that you have extra to tie it with. And then we're just going to kind of look at this and make sure it's even. Hopefully that is enough fabric. The only downside of doing it this way is how the heck do you hold it at the same time? We'll get it figured out eventually. Ah! Oh, see, I'm already struggling. Maybe I'm onto something. Okay, we'll just kind of get it put there and tied first, and then I think we can kind of maneuver this around. Once we get it on here and it's tight, then we can kind of pull it through. Now I'm just gonna tie this like you would like you're tying your shoes, okay? I don't know how to do the big fancy bows. I've never been good at that, but we will just do what we can. And I can already tell I should have left a little bit of extra ribbon on this one, so the next one we will cut a little bit differently. You could also probably just double knot it like this if you wanted to, so that it kind of just maintained its, you know, shape or whatever. You could really do it however you wanted to. It doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. We may be here a little while. I can definitely tell I did not leave nearly enough ribbon. So that's my first tip, cut extra, more than you think you will need. I mean, it's not perfect. Like I said, I'm not the absolute most perfect at these things, but how cute. That is so adorable. And you can kind of, you know, maneuver the cloth and things around to make it look how you would like to. But cute. I'm still super happy with that. It looks adorable. Okay, so the other thing I was going to mention is you can get like little tags to put with these to tell what they are, and that obviously would be a lot more aesthetically pleasing. I am also going to leave the full ingredient description and recipe in each person's Christmas cards, because we give Christmas cards away with money, so their recipe will be right there for them to keep with this. So the only other thing that I was thinking is I could put labels on these, like the little dissolvable labels that say what they are, but I don't know if I want it on here. I don't know if I want it on there or not. Maybe, let me try. No, I just think that's gonna look wonky. I think I'm just gonna write in their descriptions for the recipe cards, in their cards themselves, what each of these are, because they'll be able to tell. Like the Christmas cookies have M&Ms in them, and I will leave that in there. So it'll be really easy for them to tell what these are. So the first one is done. And then I'm just going to alternate the fabrics that I use each time. So then like the next one we do will be the red. And last year I bought a bunch extra of fabric, and I have no idea what happened to those. So I did have a lot of them, and now I don't have a lot of them. I don't know what happened to them. So this ribbon we are going to cut extra long, and then you can always trim off the ends of it. But if you go to do this, definitely leave yourself some leeway, because that was a bit of a struggle. Oh my goodness. I almost need to like tape this down so it can't move. How do people make it look that easy? Are you guys practicing witchcraft or what? Because this is not easy, guys. This is a struggle. Cute. I love these. How adorable, right? That one I'm actually pretty proud of that one. That one looks pretty good. So I guess while I'm finishing up the rest of these and struggling to get the stuff on, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. So I have been kind of not necessarily struggling, but I just want your guys' opinion on something. So a lot of you guys know I post shorts basically every day on all of my platforms, right? TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, etc., etc. And I'm kind of to the point now where I want to know if you guys would be interested in more long form content or more shorts, because I'm running into this problem where like I post day to day on my short videos, but then like whenever I go to make a long form video with you guys, some of the things you guys have already seen, and I feel like it's no longer like a surprise. And I used to really wonder why creators would do that, you know, like have like a 3 to 4 week buffer, but it's because so many things pop up in your everyday life. And then if you start filming it every single day, by the time that you go to make a long form video, it's like everybody already has seen that. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of people really enjoy the shorts, but I'm kind of to the point where it's like, should I only do my shorts based on my long form content? Like, should I take the footage that's in my long form videos with you guys and kind of break that down so that you guys get a quicker version of that? Instead of doing like everyday, day-to-day stuff. So I just want to know what your guys' opinion is on that. Like I said, I don't post content for myself. I post it for you guys. And I know that there are people that enjoy the short form stuff. I also know that there are a lot of people that have been like, you know, finally a long form video because you post so many shorts. So I just want to know what your guys' opinion and thoughts are on that stuff. I am to the point where I am willing, and I think my work schedule would allow for me to start making, you know, more long form videos with you guys. And maybe like during the times that I can't, then I could rely on like short form videos or, you know, whatever. And also you guys, I hate that it cuts me off at 3 minutes. I despise that so much because I feel like there's so much information that I would just, you know, love to tell you guys, but it's just sometimes I feel like I'm rushed through that, and I really don't like that either because there's a lot of information, especially for my new canners, that I feel like is very, very helpful, that if I could have, you know, some extra time to communicate that, I think it would be very beneficial for them. So I just want to know what your guys' opinions and thoughts are on that. Because I am, you know, kind of at the point, like I said, where I'm struggling with it a little bit on what I should do and how I should do it. So I just wonder what you guys think or what you guys would like in terms of how I structure my stuff. So I finished all of these, got all of the ribbons and the cloth on them. They look fantastic. And then, so I have all of these jams and jellies that we made together in a previous video, and I will link it up above if you have not seen that. And I was going to take the fabric and put it on top of all of these as well, but these are so small, you guys. I really struggled with that last year. So I was like, instead of doing all of that, I'm just gonna put little bows on them. I think that that looks really, really cute because these have a dissolvable label on them. I did not label the top because I originally thought I was going to cover these. So I think that that looks fine. Like, I think I'm just gonna do them all like this. This is the strawberry basil, and I had extras of the strawberry basil. So I decided that I was just gonna keep a couple for me and my family to enjoy. And friends, I'm telling you what, if you go to try any herb-based jam, let it be the strawberry basil. It is absolutely fantastic. My daughter ate an entire jar on toast within like 2 days, and I am not kidding. She really, really liked it. So it was definitely a winner. And then this is just some pepper jelly. The pepper jelly did come out just a little bit thinner than it normally does, but it still set just fine. It's just a little bit thinner of a jelly, which no big deal. By the time you go to put it on cream cheese and crackers, you really don't notice the difference. So then, like I said, I think I am just going to tie bows around the tops of all of these. And basically, if you just get it tight right along the lid like that, it looks very, very cute, especially if you put a little label on them. But I also wanted to mention, you know, like if you're on a budget or you don't know what to give somebody for Christmas, cute. It's a little bit big of a bow, but that's okay. Like I said, if you don't know what to give somebody for Christmas, if you're on a budget, if you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, food and homemade goodies are amazing gifts, okay? My husband and I, you know, obviously, like we are in a better financial standing now in our lives, but back then, you guys, we were broke. I was broke as a joke, and Christmas was a time of year where I stressed nonstop. I'm not kidding. I would beat myself up about not having money for gifts. And whenever I started canning and preserving food, like that was my way to show love on the holidays. And I just want you to know that if you are struggling with that this year and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to get the people that I love, food is an amazing gift. And don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not. Anytime that you sit down and devote time out of your day to make things for people that you love, it's an amazing gift. Don't mind this stupid fly that is still in my house. I don't know about you guys, but the flies and the bugs were so bad for us this year living out in the country. That fly, he just refuses to unalive himself. Like at this point, his name is Jerry, and he just lives here because he just will not go away. I had somebody freaking comment on one of my Facebook videos a while back of one of my canning videos, and they're like, am I the only person that noticed a bug on the counter? And I'm like, it's just a fly. Like, you know, like those people obviously maybe just didn't live in the country or whatever, but I'm like, I do not have bugs in my house. It's a freaking fly that he just won't go away. Like he just lives here now. I don't know. He doesn't pay bills, but it'd be cool if he did. So this ribbon, I goofed, you guys. This is really thin ribbon, so I think I'm gonna double it up. I'm gonna do 2 for 1. You know what I mean? I think this is actually one that my husband bought, which no big deal. I sent him to the store to get me some extra ribbon because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough ribbon for all of these jars. And I think this must have just been something that he bought. So we'll just stack them together and use them like so. But yeah, before Jerry so rudely interrupted what I was saying, food is an amazing gift. If you're on a budget this year or you're stressing, make something for your family. Do snacks or, you know what, it doesn't even matter. Homemade gifts are wonderful. And that's really what I relied on back in the day. So that's what I continue to do it because it's a way for me to show love and it's something that I enjoy and I think I'm good at and my family enjoys it. And then there is that one done. This is the blueberry jalapeno. We love, 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 love the blueberry jalapeno around here. It's so incredibly delicious. And then there is another one. Okay, so instead of having you guys watch me put ribbons on those jars like multiple times, I also have some plants that I am giving away this year. Now, this is another wonderful Christmas gift idea. For any of my plant lovers out there, if you have indoor houseplants that can be propagated, they make wonderful Christmas gifts. And at the store, like this Enjoy Pothos, for instance, they're not cheap. So it's a very good way to give a Christmas gift that is, you know, worth a better value and give it away for the holidays, you know, because if somebody were to buy these at the store, they would be paying a lot of money for them. This is a turtle vine succulent that I propagated from my other turtle vine succulent plant. It is so incredibly beautiful. And these are both going to go to my mom. My mom is like me. She loves plants, loves house plants, anything plant related. She loves them. And I had the thought that maybe we could like wrap it some way, somehow. I don't know. I'm not doing all that. So I was hoping I had a bigger ribbon to put around this, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. So that's okay. We'll just use the little ones. And then we also have one over there that I'm going to go get a cutting with you guys, and we will work on repotting it, and it will also be for my mom. I wish I had a photo of my mom's porch every single year for spring and summer. She goes crazy with flowers, you guys. She loves indoor plants. She loves indoor flowers. And so I thought, what a wonderful gift to give her, because I just started getting into houseplants not that long ago. Like I'm still really new when it comes to that, but she has been doing it for a really long time. And I know both of these she does not have. So she's going to get them for Christmas. And hopefully this will stay on here, okay? The ribbon doesn't want to stay very good. Like I said, I was hoping for a bigger ribbon, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then also what I'm going to do is I know that these dissolvable lids are for the mason jars, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to label what it is and put this on the thing because these are a little bit festive looking. Like they're not bland. So we'll stick one on here and then she'll know what each of them are. So this is an Enjoy Pothos. And it is variegated 2 colors. These are one of my absolute favorites. They are so pretty. And then I just went ahead and wrote that on the little label. And we are just going to stick this right on the top. That's actually cute, you know? It's something fancy, and you don't have to get fancy. Don't have to get fancy at all. I promise your friends and family will enjoy whatever you get them, but just to make it look a little bit more festive, I think that's beautiful. Okay, and then these are turtle vine succulents. We will get a little label on here. Thankfully, I always have pots like this because I start so many of my own starts. So that worked out really good for me. I actually took these cuttings not too long ago and kind of let them establish in the pots before I wanted to gift them to her. And everybody always asks me what's the secret to having indoor houseplants. I honestly don't know. I don't know how I have gotten so lucky, you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. With my garden success, with my houseplant success, it's like everything that I brought in has just thrived, and it wasn't always like that. I think it's just because I've made it my mission this year to not let the plants and things die. But I don't know. I guess I just have good success with it. Okay, that ribbon does not want to stay on there because that's super thick, so this one is also done. So now let's go get a couple cuttings and we'll do the other one. Okay, and then this is I think it's called a Brazilian philodendron. I can't freaking remember, some type of philodendron. And then I also have some other ones over here. My mom already has these two because I've given her cuttings of those, but she does not have this one. So I'm gonna try and zoom you guys in here. The way that you propagate a plant with the philodendrons and the pothos anyway, is they have these little nodes right here. And whenever you stick those in soil and water, they will develop roots and start growing as their own plant. So what I like to do is I like to come down on the ends, and you do want to leave just a little bit. So like you can tell whenever you put this in the cup, how it will look whenever you plant it. So I just look for one that will kind of grow decently, you know what I mean? And look like it's gonna come up and be like a nice start. So I think I am gonna go ahead and take this one, and then basically just where the node is, we're gonna go just a little bit further so that this whole portion right here can be left in the soil. And these are amazing plants to propagate. Where I just cut, it will grow back and just continue to grow and grow and grow. And then you have a free plant every single time that you do that. So last night I did go ahead and get a cup filled up with our potting soil. Now all of my potting soil is out in the garage. So if you are like storing that outside, make sure you let it warm up so that you're not throwing this into ice cold potting soil. But then the next step basically is just to place this in our soil. And I was looking at it. So this is why I said it kind of matters where you cut it. So we can place it in here like this, or I didn't realize that the top of this also had some nodes as well. And this will allow it to go down much, much deeper. So maybe we do it on the opposite side here. What do we think? Which one looks, that kind of comes up a little bit wonky-ish actually. So let's do it this way. And that way, it can be in the soil like this. And then you can also cut the top of this as well if you wanted to. You don't have to. It will grow out of the nodes like so. So it basically just needs a starting point. So we will get it in our little pot just like this. Make sure that the soil is covering all of those nodes. And then the next step is just to go ahead and water it in. Now I only use distilled water on all of my plants, and this does not have anything at the bottom. So we're going to be careful as we do this. But you want to give it a nice little drink. And then I will just take care of this for my mom until I go to give it to her for Christmas. So then this one is ready to go. And then we just need a label. And this is a Brazilian philodendron. Ta-da! So that one is done. And then I think other than just putting some ribbon on those last jars, you guys, I think that is it. And I'm really, really happy about it. As I was like kind of saying earlier about like the homemade gifts and stuff, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I kind of just, I don't like what Christmas has turned into personally. I don't like the stress and the anxiety and the like feeling bad for not being able to provide people with adequate gifts. So this is my way of protesting. If I'm being quite frank and honest, I don't think that there will ever be a year that I don't do homemade gifts, just because I think that it is so personal, you know? And I don't know. Sometimes I sit here and I think about what Christmas is meant to be and what it has turned into, and it makes me sad. So if you are feeling like that around the holidays, or you get to feeling like that around the holidays, I just want you to know that you're not alone. Christmas used to be really difficult for my husband and I don't feel like I'm ever going to forget that, you know? So the ways that I have found to kind of compensate for those things, I'm never going to stop doing. And I just want you to know that if you feel like that, you're never alone. But I am really, really happy with what we got. So we got 6 of the M&M cookies and peanut butter brownie mixes in the jars. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We will have 8 of the homemade jams and jellies. And again, each person can get 1 of each flavor because we have 3 households that we give out to. And then I also got all of these houseplants for my mom. And then we did go ahead and get just some little things to go with it and then a card for Christmas. And that's basically all that I'm doing. So I'm really, really happy with this. I would love to know what you guys do for the holidays. And oh, you know what? I was going to do herbs with you guys, but it's just, I have basil, like a ton of basil, or I think I had like some dehydrated onions too. I'm probably just going to put those in a jar with a little ribbon on them as well and give those away because it's a great Christmas gift. But I would love to know what you guys do for homemade gifts or like gifts from your home, plants. Like, what do you guys do for the holidays? Let me know down below because I love hearing that. And every single time that I hear what somebody else does, it gives me an idea and inspiration for next year. So I always appreciate that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love sitting down chit-chatting with you guys, making stuff. I thought that this was super, super fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, feel free to leave them down below for me. As always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I will see you in next week's video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye, friends.